It is my honor to invite to the podium the gentleman under whose patronage these awards are being held. Please join me in bringing up to the stage the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honourable Patrick Manning, to deliver the feature address.
Madam Mistress of Ceremonies, Honourable Mariano Brown, Minister of Trade and Industry, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Ganesh Sahadeo, the Chairman of the Business Development Company, and Mrs. Sahadeo, Mr. Albert Chow, the President of the BDC, members of the Board of Directors of the Business Development Company, exporters, businessmen, members of the media, very distinguished, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome the opportunity to address you at this Prime Minister's Exporter of the Year Awards ceremony. I congratulate the Business Development Company for its success in continuing and now expanding this important program, which recognizes the sterling performances of the local manufacturing sector. This is a very significant generator of wealth and employment in Trinidad and Tobago. We highly commend the Royal Bank for its ongoing support of this national endeavor. And I wish to congratulate all the companies that qualified for consideration in all categories. And I especially applaud all winners and pay special tribute to the company which will be later announced as the Exporter of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, since the last awards ceremony, to the consternation of many, it was revealed that unprecedented excesses and irresponsible adventurousness in the international financial sector had taken humanity to the brink of a global depression. No country was spared the consequences of this universal calamity. Credit dried up, economies contracted, earnings dropped, and unemployment rose. Meetings were held, decisions made, and assorted stimuli were injected into the global patient whose previously apparent robust health had proven to be artificial and illusionary. We all waited with bated breath for revival. Well, it apparently is now on its way. The survivor is now struggling to emerge from a threatening dysfunctionality. However, positive prognosis remains tentative as many millions remain unemployed, availability of credit in the international market has contracted, and the key element of consumer confidence persists near rock bottom. There obviously remains good cause for concern, as clearly indicated from last week's meeting of finance ministers of the G20 countries. We in Trinidad and Tobago continue to be affected. National revenue has dropped, and we are unwillingly back to the point when we must employ deficit financing to keep that adequate degree of momentum to maintain both our global competitiveness as well as domestic social and economic equilibrium. However, ladies and gentlemen, we are confident that with the wisdom that influenced the degree of our country's insertion into the international economy, we will rise with the global tide, whether slow or surging. We also know that in the interim, there is the absolute need for the reordering of domestic priorities and the management of expenditure to take into account the present and future prospects of Trinidad and Tobago. As you can see, this is an underlying principle in the budget presented yesterday by the Honourable Minister of Finance. We must look to our creators of wealth more than ever before. We count our manufacturing sector as preeminent among this group. You have capitalized on the infrastructure provided, the investment incentives, the country's natural resources, and the trade and fiscal policies of the government, and emerged from tentativeness to become the leading manufacturing sector of CARICOM and the wider Caribbean. The records show that you have been increasing your contributions to national earnings, a fact that emphasizes your growing strength. Congratulations, my dear friends. You have now set your sights very realistically on the wider world, particularly our own hemisphere, confident of your capacity to compete with the best that the global market has to offer. The government commends you and gives you the assurance that we will continue to be your partner in the greater expansion of which you are now clearly capable. Indeed, especially in our present economic situation, we expect you to be strong, expansionary, and creative. And as you can see, we are providing the incentives for business expansion and increased exports. We know that expanding markets are critical for this sector. Constant growth is the key. It has been said that success in business is like being on a treadmill. You must have the stamina for constant movement and expansion, a characteristic that all of you here have amply demonstrated. Well, the government is also doing its part for your growing appetite. We continue to enlarge our markets through favorable trading arrangements for our exporters. We have signed a new economic partnership agreement with the European Union, which provides tremendous market expansion for exporters. And we will continue to benefit from existing and future trading arrangements with the United States of America and Canada.